Hey, this is your host, Anthony Tank Mansfield. With me today is
Mike Berlon.
And this is What You Into.
What you into? What you into?
All right, what's up? Back in the basement. Returning, top 5 guest of all time, Mike Berlon. What the fuck is up, dude?
Hey, Tank, how's it going, man? Four Horsemen Club. It's
Woo!
official.
Let's go. What's it like being on for the 4th time, man?
It's the best, man. You have a great operation down here. You're an excellent host. So it is always fun to come down to the basement, hang out. Yeah, I noticed you've set the mood lighting a little bit better this time around. You're like, let's darken this up a little bit.
Over time, I figured out, make the show sexy. Not only do I want the guests to be comfortable, but I want to be a little turned on.
Well, mission accomplished, Tank.
Yeah. That's when you get the best out of your podcast guests. If they're rocking a simi, that's when you're going to get podcasting gold.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. So let's talk about this right out the gate. So you're number 3 in the rotation of chatting with the guys from Craft Brewed Sports. We did Scott. We had Mookie on last week. Mookie took a lot of shots at you,
dude. It was unreal. Like, I'm listening back, and I was like, What did I do to you, man? Like, I am nothing but supportive of that kid on the show, and he just comes in guns blazing, like, oh, nice to be on a professional podcast, not like the one. I'm like, that's your podcast, bro. Like, you're part of that. You're the reason why it's not professional. Like, there's a reason why we call Mookie the wild card, because there is no reining that kid in. Like, he'll fire off with something that has nothing to do with what we're talking about, and then he stares at us like we're the assholes for not, like,
why not
rolling.
back me on this?
He's a good kid. Bless his heart.
He's like, yeah, they really should have shot Franz Ferdinand. You know, I mean, sure, World War I was the byproduct of that. But what the fuck ever? And it's just like,
we're like,
what?
Dude,
it's a sports show.
Mookie loves to get philosophical about everything, man.
He does
wants
like
to get very deep about every potential topic that's there.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, as a host, it was not what I thought was coming to open the show. I didn't know we were just going to be dragging you for a solid 2 minutes.
Well, hold up, though, because Scott also came out of the gate with, like, "Ooh, saving the best for first." And I'm like, really? You asshole. Like, you know what, Tank? I'm going to take the high road. I'm not even going to trash these guys. I'll let the show speak for itself.
Is that what it's like being the main host of the show, where you have to deal with the egos of the co-hosts that are constantly trying to take things off the rails?
Yeah, it's a challenge. I look at it as like I'm fighting a battle every single week. One, to keep Scott from making me turn bright red with just overtly race-related comments that I'm just like, oh God, I don't think we can say this on the air. Oh my God. And then Mookie just talking about whatever the hell that kid comes up with. So it's a balancing act, man. It's fun.
I do appreciate you on the show being the straight man, because that is not an easy thing to be, but you are like the closest thing to a straight man on that show. Because again, you're exactly right in terms of, like, you don't know what's going to happen with what either of those guys are going to say. You just never know. So
it's why, like, I get shit for only reading the headlines on stories, but I don't have to, because with those two, all I have to do is toss the grenade of an idea out there, and then they go in ridiculous directions, and I just have to wrangle the cats. We just got to herd them in every once in a while and just be like, okay, that's run its course. Here's another grenade. Woo! Let's go.
Yeah. What's going to blow up next? Well, look, let's do this. Let me hit a couple plugs real quick before we jump into this thing, because, listener, once we get going, we're going to get going, so I want to make sure we get these on the front end. You know where to find me at Neo to Know on Instagram. That's where you can find all my link tree, and I'll take care of everything else. Mike is on IG and X as Mike Berlon. You can also find Craft Brewed Sports on IG and X under Craft B Sports, and then the YouTube is Craft Brewed Sports. It's a live weekly podcast, YouTube show, like a little bit of everything. But honestly, watch it live Tuesday nights at 8. Unless I'm recording a podcast, I'm a loyal viewer. I fucking love the show, and I want anybody who listens to the podcast, please watch their show, especially if you like sports. It's incredible.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, we try to do it. We try to be a sports show for people who they're not like super sports hardies. You know what I mean? Like we want the people who are like, yeah, I know things. I've heard stories. Like it's supposed to be hanging out at the bar, bullshit with your friends. That's the show. And I think we've finally nailed that. Where like that's exactly the mode we're putting on.
It is definitely that vibe. Yeah. I mean, if you guys need to pull out of the back pocket and be serious about something, you can be, but at the same time, you do a good job of like finding stories that are a little bit off the beaten path and kind of weird and enjoyable to talk about.
Do you know how hard it is to pull off that serious stuff? Like when that broaches the sports world and we're like, okay, guys, how are we going to handle this? Because after we have this serious conversation, we then have to pivot to talk about dongs showing through baseball pants. Like how are we going to make that transition happen?
And, you know, at the end of all this, I say to myself, where are race relations in this country? Anyways, back over here to, you know, and then it's like something just, and it's like, oh, fuck, man. Like, this is really hard.
Damar Hamlin died on the field and the NFL did nothing about it.
Yeah.
Hey, anyways.
How
about Tommy Lasorda? He's fat, right?
Yeah. Hey, you guys heard of the Savannah Bananas? Pretty cool, right? They're going on a tour. It's like, fuck, okay. This is rough. This is rough.
Animal rules are crazy, huh?
Yeah. Well, actually, one thing I do want to talk about with you is, as far as transitions goes, like the whole thing you have set up with the show in terms of like the drops with like, you know, you hit buttons and like various like sound clips and videos. But dude, I love that. I love that you've like figured out a way to like make these drops for the different segments. And it's something that kills me every week when I'm watching.
Can I give you a peek behind the curtain?
Yeah, please do.
The reason why those drops were invented and why they were created was so that when I'm editing and like adding chapters to the YouTube, I've got just a quick way to find where the next spot hits.
All right,
so
perfect.
like rather than watching it back and being like, okay, we changed topics at this point, I just look for the drops and I'm just like, all right, chop it here. These are the videos that we can pull from for social. This is what we could put up as like a supplemental video. This is where like I add the chapters that like it was all just a cheat sheet for me.
Hey, you know what? It works. And they're great. And okay, so I want to talk about this since it just happened. And we were talking earlier about like me coming on here and giving you shit about my professional show versus your unprofessional show, which again, I was like, oh man, okay, we're going here. But I thought it was hilarious that the very next show, he sabotaged the board.
Yes.
And fucked up
rearranged everything.
Everything.
We've been using this platform for like 2 years now, and the drops have been in the exact same spot for 2 years. And last week I go to hit a drop and it's not there, and I'm like panicking because I'm like, where did it go? Where did it go? Vamp, and I'm trying to, and finally I just gave up. I'm like, where the hell is this drop at? Oh, I moved it. I thought it just moved for me. What the? We're all logged in under the same email address. Like, how does that?
I'm making it more efficient. It's like
You gotta unravel that Mookie brain sometimes, man. Because then he gives a reason. It's like, actually, that makes sense.
That's not bad.
Not in this case. This was just him being the Joker. He just wanted to watch the world burn.
He really did. Yeah. And that was what I was trying to figure out the entire episode I was watching. I'm like, I don't know if like Mookie's playing 4D chess and he came on my show and trashed Mike and then intentionally tried to make it look like Mike was a dickhead, or if he was like, you know what, if I'm going to talk shit on Mike, I should help the show and I should adjust so I can be a better editor.
Definitely the former, not the latter. You are right. This is a conspiracy theory that goes deep. He did that.
Oh,
that was on purpose.
Cue the conspiracy music.
Yes, cue the conspiracy theory if we can find it on the soundboard.
Yeah. If we had it right now, we could totally kick that in. How do you decide like what videos become the drops?
Normally it's like a GIF that I see or something on TikTok that pops up where it just makes me laugh. Like the golf transition was a TikTok trend of like playing a game of whack fuck.
Yeah.
And then you
whack,
hear that, yeah,
fuck.
So I just find the one that makes me laugh the hardest to use as the transition. Some of them I'm just like, if we're talking football, the only thing that matters with football is Tech Mobile. So I'm figuring out some way to bring Tech
Which
Mobile
is great.
in that transition. So yeah, it's all just random shit that I come across, and I'm like, you know what? We're gonna use that. We're gonna pull that in as a transition.
The SNL, let's do that hockey.
Yeah.
Is perfect, especially with Scott being your NHL expert.
Right.
Yeah.
No specific reason why that was done on the show.
I love the fact that Scott is just constantly fucking with Canadians. I think that is a trope on the show.
It's a great recurring bit because it doesn't come out very often. So if you hop in late, like all of a sudden you'll just hear Scott be like, "Fuck you, Canada," and it's like, why the hostility? And you don't realize the recurring gag that it only comes up when he's talking hockey.
The man loves the puck. When it comes to hockey, the greatest game on ice.
He's amazing.
Scott Kaiser's there.
He's so amazing at selling. Like, I'm so confident about this that I know nothing about.
I'm on his side now. I don't think Canada's ever going to beat us again for an NHL Cup at this point. Like I'm definitely on Scott's point. I don't think they got a shot.
We celebrate every year the last Canadian team gets knocked out of the Stanley Cup playoffs. It's a big party.
100%. And you know they're bummed about it too. Like that shit hurts them. That's what makes it even more funny. They're like, oh.
I don't know why I went Australian there. That got weird.
I don't know. You know,
that just fell out.
Canadians, the Australians, North America.
Crikey, eh?
Crikey, eh? We're out. Oh, we're out of the playoffs. Oh, I gotta vote for Justin Trudeau. Yeah, being Canadian would suck.
Oh shit.
I'm totally on Scott's team. Hell yeah, America. Let's go.
Absolutely.
Let's go.
Beat them in their own sport.
Get them. That's what pisses them off. That's what gets them.
Yeah,
the fact that we're better at this.
When the Raptors won the NBA playoffs, I just imagine Canada being like, "Fuck yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Now we're taking your sports. How you feel about that, America?" And we're like, "We don't give a shit, man. Whatever.
We don't. We got the NFL. We don't give a single fuck about anything else.
We're just glad this wasn't LeBron or Steph. Like, great,
whatever. Okay, enjoy. Well, all right. Look, man, we're talking sports. Let's talk sports movies. So far, everybody that's come on from Craft Brewed Sports had to ask, what is the favorite sports movie? How about you? What's yours?
I feel like the answer that everybody expects coming from the Irish Catholic diehard Notre Dame fan is Rudy. Like, that's what everybody expects me to say. It's not. Rudy's not. It might not even be top 5 for me.
Not a good movie.
It makes me cry. Don't get me wrong. It makes me cry, but I don't think I'd put it top 5.
It's a little boring. I mean, he like hits on a chick, and then like at the end, he finally gets a sack or something. Like, man, he gets the dog shit kicked out of him the whole time.
Yeah, he gets carried off the field.
Yeah,
the janitor claps one time and walks away.
Yeah, and his dad has the best line in the movie. He's got the whole thing with like, "This is the greatest thing these Irish eyes have ever seen," or whatever. And he's actually in the stadium.
That one, and when he tells Rudy's friend, "We only watch one team in this house." I'm like, hell yeah, we do. We only watch Notre Dame. Then we turn off the TV, and that's why we think we're good every year.
That's right.
We don't watch anybody else.
We've been indoctrinated, and this is what we believe, and therefore this is what we're going to watch.
Why aren't we number 1? This is bullshit. I just watch. Oh, there's other teams that play? Oh, well, that's weird. Not in our house. There's only one team that plays in our house.
What's it like being an Irish fan, man? Because like it is one of those things where like you guys are part of the lore of college football, but I can't imagine you guys winning a national championship anytime soon. So like how like what is the balance here? And and let me say this: I'm not trying to say it in like a dickish way.
No.
Of like you guys fucking suck. You're never gonna be good. But it is a weird thing in terms of like the level they hold players to, and like you have to get a certain GPA and all that shit.
Yeah, I think with NIL, that may change things and move the needle a little bit more in Notre Dame's favor. Because, I mean, when you think about schools that have deep pockets that can pay for good football teams.
A lot of money.
Notre Dame's got a bankroll, you know? So I think there's a chance, and especially if Freeman stays, because Marcus Freeman is a damn good coach, and it seems like kids want to play for him. So I think if he gets enough time, they could be in the conversation. But as for being an Irish fan, it sucks, man. Like it sucks because like if Ohio State loses early on in the year, it's like, well, we could still get to the Big Ten championship.
Right.
We still got. If Notre Dame loses, it's like, well, this was done.
It's a wrap.
It's over. That's it. Thanks a lot. See you guys next year. Like maybe if the chips fall and we win everything else, and every other game and somebody else loses somewhere along the line, maybe there's an outside chance. But as soon as that first loss hits, it's like, well, this is all just fun now. Like, I guess I'm just watching this for nothing. And then at the same time, I have to like defend myself because there's so many shitty Notre Dame fans out there that like when somebody finds out I like Notre Dame, they're like, "Oh, you guys suck." I'm like, "No, not me. I'm one of the good ones."
This is me being an Ohio State fan. Where it's like, no, I'm not a total dickhead about this. Like, hold on.
I'm a Notre Dame fan, but not that Notre Dame. But like, I'm a cool guy. Hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Let's talk.
I end up having multiple conversations with my dad where I kind of got to like talk him off the ledge sometimes because he gets like super Ohio State guy. And I'm like, hey man, like it's not that big of a conspiracy. Like it's, it is what it is. Like we are who we are. Not everybody's going to like us.
Yeah.
Like it is what it is.
I just hate the hate that Notre Dame gets. Like just the strays that I always catch in comment sections where people are just like, Notre Dame's not relevant. I'm like, you brought them up. That makes them relevant, dude.
Yeah.
Like, come on, seriously. Yeah. They're like, well, what have they done lately? I'm like, I don't know. Made it to the college football playoffs a handful of times. Yeah, but they got beat. Okay, let's just keep moving that goalpost then.
Yeah.
Fine. Then in that case, Clemson doesn't deserve to be there anymore. Alabama's gotten blown out. Ohio State's got, like, what? Yeah, teams get blown out because Alabama was a monster for a long time.
Notre Dame is just like such a weird unicorn because of like the whole thing where they're an independent, but yet like you're still playing USC and Michigan every year.
Yeah, it's
like
weird.
So it's this thing, and
well, not Michigan anymore, but
well,
they dropped them. But,
did they?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
shit. Okay.
That was a whole thing. Stupid. They're stupid. That's such a good game. I don't know why you would ever drop that game.
Well, and it's something that's happened for multiple generations, I mean, because they're two of the oldest football programs in America, which is, again, the whole crux of, the NCAA football is like tradition. This happened, this begets that and all that. But yeah, man, I don't know, it's weird because like we are now in that world of like, people shit on Notre Dame for being independent, but it's like, isn't everybody kind of in that same boat now that's like big, where it's like you really only play like 2 or 3 big games in the regular season because you're just predicted to steamroll everybody else? I mean, as an Ohio State fan, really the only, I'm like, Michigan every year is going to be a toss up. And yes, Craft Brewed Sports Michigan fans, fuck you guys. The past 4 years have sucked my dick. But on the whole, it is one of those games where it's like one of those things where like, it doesn't matter who does what during that year. It's who's going to play that day, who's hyped up, and who wants to take it home. But other than that, like I look at like a Ohio State schedule, I'm like, Penn State could be a problem. It depends on what Michigan State's doing that year. They might be a problem. But other than like us getting slotted in somebody big on the front end, like a Texas or a Notre Dame, I'm just like, we're going to crush everything in front of us.
Right. Yeah.
And Notre Dame is like, they have enough tradition with like people that are playing where like they don't have a cupcake schedule, or if you want to call it a cupcake schedule, it's comparable to everybody else's cupcake schedule.
Yeah, I mean, the schedule comments in college football in general drive me crazy because it's not like teams are planning that. Like to your point, Ohio State can only play the Big Ten teams that they play. At some point it's just the conference, and these conferences are like, well, we'll just bring in more teams, we'll expand, and it'll be great. But like you can't. I guess you could blame a team for those like 3 games out of conference that they schedule, but at the same time, use those smartly. Like I think the SEC does such a good idea where all the other teams front load those 3 out of conference games to like warm up for the season. Then they get into their conference schedule and they go through. The SEC saves one of those for like the second to last week of the year. So Alabama is like going through, and right before it's like Alabama Auburn, the game before that they're playing like Southern Missouri State, like state penitentiary, and like it's some crappy little school that they just beat the shit out of, and they don't have to play their starters. They rest up. It's like a bye week, really.
Yeah,
it's genius.
Cool. We got New Mexico on the schedule. It's like sick. This is perfect. Like we can just have our 3rd string quarterback start. Everybody can just like go lay in ice on the sidelines, and it's totally cool right now.
It's such a smart way to schedule. Like I'm surprised that the Big Ten hasn't come along to that model of scheduling,
which makes more sense.
Yeah, it really does. Like, you get one. You can have the way college football, although now that everything's changing, it's all going to be like in conference. You're going to have so many little out of conference options that I think that's eventually going to force Notre Dame to join a conference.
Yeah,
like scheduling is going to get tough, man.
I mean, I think Big Ten's the obvious choice for that just because of location and where they're at and where the Big Ten exists. But do you think there's any place else they would go?
I think it depends on what happens with that 3rd power conference. Like right now, it seems like we're trending towards Big Ten, SEC being the 2 like
Yeah, that's the two dominant dogs.
And if it comes down to where those are the only two conferences, then yeah, Big Ten makes sense over the SEC. That'd be crazy. But if a third conference kind of emerges between like the Big 12 and the ACC, and they kind of like become a third big conference, then I see Notre Dame slipping in there because they've already got the tie into the ACC anyways. So they'll probably just go into that one, and that'll be like the team that legitimizes that third conference, right? Like, Big Ten has Ohio State, Michigan. SEC's got all of the dominant teams. And then the ACC Big 12 merger or whatever would be like Notre Dame, Clemson, Florida State, I guess Stanford maybe. Like they got that weird like arm from the Pac-12 that.
Yeah, I was saying, what is Texas in right now? Are they still
Texas is going SEC.
Yeah. See, and that's the other thing too, is like that's where it also gets weird is like, again, those like traditional powers. And especially like once the NIL money came into existence, Texas is like, oh, we're back.
Right.
You know,
right.
Because those guys are like, we got a lot of money and we love UT. So we are going to fucking throw down.
Matthew McConaughey was like, let's go, baby.
Let's go. Let's go. You know, here's my True Detective check. Let's go. Well, okay. So if it's not Rudy, then what is your favorite sports movie?
Caddyshack.
Hell yeah, dude.
That was all right. So I know Mookie and Scott had mentioned like the first rated R movies that they had seen. That was my first rated R movie.
Solid first rated R movie.
Yeah, it was great.
My God.
And just the fact that I played golf in high school. So it was a very quotable movie, like relatable throughout my teenage years into high school. Even now, if I'm playing with friends, I'll still throw out Caddyshack quotes throughout the round just to be, it's like Caddyshack and Happy Gilmore. That's like how I converse on the golf course. But yeah, Caddyshack is right there for me, man.
What a great movie across the board. It's you're exactly right. It's quotable the entire way through. Kenny Loggins with that sweet soundtrack. I'm all right.
The gopher dancing at the end to it.
Yeah.
Man. Oh, I love it.
It's so good. Oh, a rare appearance where both Bill Murray and Chevy Chase are in the same movie.
Yeah,
and the fact that like their scene together was not originally written into the script,
right,
and then they
hate each other so much, right?
But they realized during Caddyshack they realized that they didn't have a scene where Bill Murray and Chevy Chase were together. So they were like, let's just work something in. They're like, well, do we need to write? And they're like, let's let them improv it. Yeah. And so that entire scene is just them improving,
so good.
And it ends up in a classic movie that is like one of the biggest sports movies of all time.
It's so good. And there's just so much to it. Like there's so many just dumb jokes there. Like the baby Ruth into the swimming pool and like Bill Murray just snaps into it at the end when he's cleaning up. I just love everything about that movie. Is so good.
The whole thing with Rodney Dangerfield acting. And that's another great thing about like I forget whose interview it was, but somebody was like talking about Rodney Dangerfield working on Caddyshack, and Rodney Dangerfield like got crazy anxiety about it because he'd never been in a movie before, and he's like, oh, I'm fucking dying out here, and they're like, what's wrong? And he's like, nobody's laughing, and they're like, they can't laugh. If they laugh, they can't use the take, but like Rodney Dangerfield thought he was bombing the entire time because nobody was laughing on set at his jokes.
That's amazing. And that now that I hear that makes so much sense why like it seemed like he was going so hard with some of the jokes and like really trying to sell them. It's because that's fantastic. What a great piece of trivia, Tank.
Oh, caddying, a skill work for an Italian. Like, there's so much shit in that movie. It's just fucking hilarious, dude. Like, it's just so good.
It's the best, man.
You buy a hat like that, you get a free bowl of soup. Like when he comes in and just starts buying everything out of the store, and then like he has like the most ridiculous, largest golf bag ever.
Yeah. I like when he rolls up to the tee and the judge is pissed and he's like, he yells at Chevy Chase, get this car out of here. And Chevy goes to grab him. There's no wheel because it's like on the other side of the car. All right, let's play some golf.
Yeah, let's go. Classic movie, man. It's so good. Like just the entire way through. And again, like you said, it's so quotable. And I think it's an important part for a comedy to have like quotable lines.
Yeah, you got to have lines that people can reference back and use like throughout. That'll give your movie longevity. And it's like, oh shit, yeah. That like every time it comes on, you're like, I got to see that part because I love that part. I'm gonna keep this on to find that part. I still, to this day, whenever I finish a round of golf, I look at everybody else. I'm like, hey, everybody, we're going to get laid.
because it works. It is just timeless. It is just perfect.
Oh man.
And I agree with you, man. Happy Gilmore, also a solid golf movie.
Yeah.
Why does golfing make for good comedies? Is it the fact that like golf is such a serious,
Yeah, it's
like
so straight-laced.
professional straight-laced game?
Yeah, so anytime you can juxtapose that with like somebody who doesn't fit that world,
Yeah.
it just makes it hilarious, and people are like, "Oh, that's cool. Yeah, oh yeah, fuck that golf, fuck that golf course. Yeah, let's get the regular guy who's wearing a hockey jersey in there. Hell yeah, let's do that.
Let's go. Yeah. That movie's so great. The whole thing with like Carl Weathers, R.I.P. to a real one, like being Chubbs and the fake hand.
Yeah,
Did they? Yeah, and I couldn't play on the PGA Tour. Oh, it's because it's black. Hell no, because the goddamn alligator ate my hand. He's got like this weird like mannequin hand.
it was wood because in the one scene he's like gluing the fingers.
Back
in
together
there.
after it gets hit by the car. Yeah.
Don't worry about that. Made of wood, real strong.
The whole dream sequence where it's like Happy thinking about his like not really that hot girlfriend in lingerie and like a little person riding around. They have like pictures of beer and stuff. And then Shooter McGavin comes into the world and fucks it all up and starts making out with her. Like, that's pretty awesome.
Isn't that the mom from Modern Family?
Oh, is that who that is?
I think so.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Okay, that tracks.
I think it's her.
Yeah.
Because I remember seeing her on Modern Family and being like, did I see you in lingerie holding 2 pitchers of beer one time?
Yes, I did.
I did. All right. Okay.
I
Weird.
did. That was you. Ben Stiller as the orderly.
Oh yeah. I say that to my kids all the time. I'm always like, you will go to sleep or I will put you to sleep.
Get you a big glass to shut the hell up. Would you like that?
I've seen like scenes that were cut out of that Ben Stiller just goes even more over the top with it. And I'm watching these scenes. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense why that got cut. You can't put that in a movie. That's a good call.
Even in like late 90s, it was too far.
Right. Yeah. Even then they were like, oh, this
Damn.
might have passed in the 70s, but not now.
Damn, that is rough. If they're having that conversation, that is definitely rough. All right, so I got to get these in because I don't know when else I'm going to be able to get them on the show. I want to talk about a few of my favorite sports movies. Slapshot,
Oh, good choice, man.
so good, dude.
That's fantastic.
Keep this whole hockey theme going. Like in terms of like just a fun movie, and again, like kind of like Caddyshack, where it's like let's kind of go outside the bounds of the rules of this thing and how much of a wild card it is. The Hanson brothers are like 3 icons at this point. It's a good movie.
How much of that too lends itself because it's a sport that isn't as mainstream?
I
people
think
are like, oh, I could peek behind the curtain in hockey a little bit.
Yeah, and especially because like also it's a movie where it's like they're not like pro level hockey.
Right.
They're like whatever the hockey level is on like not Letterkenny but Shoresy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which that show
I haven't seen Shoresy. I've
dude,
never watched
Shoresy's
it.
great.
I mean, I know I would like it because I like Letterkenny, but I've never pulled the trigger on Shoresy.
I like Shoresy better than Letterkenny because sometimes on Letterkenny I can get kind of over the whole innuendo joke thing where it's like we're gonna keep doing this thing for like 4 minutes of references, and I'm like, okay, there's a lot less of that on Shoresy, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, you're right. That's good one-off. Like that bit works perfectly if the show is only airing once a week and you have to wait a week in between episodes. But when you're binging it and you get that like every episode, you're like, oh, okay, here we go.
Yeah, it's
Slapshot's a good choice though.
yeah,
Man.
Slapshot's good.
Where does
Enjoyed it.
that rank? How is that like the bet?
I don't know if it's top 10, but
Okay.
it's one that I wanted to throw out there because we've just been talking so much stuff the past few shows of like different sports movies. Like, I mean, I didn't think I was going to get to talk about the program or like unnecessary roughness on a podcast, but I did, or like talking Major League and things like that.
Place at the table.
Place at the table. Totally cool. Not setting a horrible precedent for dudes in the 90s. Talladega Nights. I always forget. I don't think of it as a sports movie, but it's like, oh yeah, it is about NASCAR.
Yeah, that's
So-
true. That was the first movie I went to with my wife was Talladega Nights.
Really?
Yeah. It came out. I was in Chicago with a buddy, and I was like, when we get back, we're gonna go hit up this new Will Ferrell movie. It looks really funny. And we got done with the movie, and she was like, I didn't like that at all. And I was like,
Oh, no.
Okay, all right, this is going to be a problem for us because I like stupid shit like this. So I guess we're going to have to figure that out. She's like, no, I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. All right, this feels awkward.
Mother your children.
You pick the next one.
Yeah. That's rough, man.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
I enjoy it so much. Like, it's just across the board. Like, I like Will Ferrell when he's being a dumb dickhead. And I love John C. Reilly in damn near anything. I mean,
Yeah.
hell, I even liked him in like Gangs in New York, where he's like a dickhead,
Right.
police sergeant or whatever. And then you also get fucking Borat in this movie. Like, come on. I'm totally here for this.
It's a good one. Again, it goes back to this is not a mainstream sport. So people are more likely to be into watching it because it's like, oh, am I going to find something out? No, you're not going to find anything about it. You're going to see an Applebee's commercial in the middle of the movie. Like that's where we're at with this movie.
Again, it's so good. The whole thing. What was the guy that's like his pit chief that died? He played John Henry. And,
yeah. I can't think of his name. I know exactly. Who you're
gigantic
talking
black dude, bald head.
You're right.
But the whole part where he's like, "Don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby," I still quote that to this day. Like anytime somebody says anything to me, it's like kind of negative. I'm like, "Don't put that evil on me." Like, I don't need this.
How many times are you telling people you're coming at him like a spider monkey?
Oh, hell yeah, dude. For sure. Definitely that. It's just, again, it was the whole thing with like all the Will Ferrell movies where it's who's the guy that he works with on those? It's
Adam McKay.
Adam McKay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where it's just Adam McKay being like, "Hey man, here's the setup, but you guys just like riff."
Yeah.
And it's so good because of that.
Yeah, he knows exactly like the situations to put Will Ferrell in. Like they work so well off of each other. Like even there's stuff that isn't like movie level, like Step Brothers and stuff. Like, do you remember what was that skit they did for Funny or Die when they launched it? The landlord.
Well, with his
the little
daughter.
girl.
Yeah, the little girl.
Like that type of scenario where he's just like, all right, I'm gonna bring my daughter in. She's 2 years old. She just repeats whatever we say and then she forgets about it. So let's come up with something on that. Like
Yeah.
they're brilliant, man.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
It's a really good combination. I like those guys a lot. And
Definitely.
definitely love that movie. All right, final one for me for sports movies. I want to talk about The Wrestler. It's sad, but I love it because it is what it is. Like it's a good movie, and it really does depict like the weirdness that is indie wrestling, where dudes are willing to let their bodies get destroyed for like $200 or less a match.
That's crazy. I haven't seen The Wrestler. I know it was really popular. That's the one with Mickey Rourke, right?
Yeah, Mickey Rourke.
Yeah.
And Timeless Smoke Show, Marissa Tomei.
Marissa.
Her and Selma Hayek, dude, they don't age. They're just forever hot. I don't understand how it works.
It's insane. It's an insane thing that I've seen Marissa Tomei go from like My Cousin Vinny, where she was like the young sexy, and now she's like Aunt May and Spider-Man. I'm still like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in. Is it Aunt May? I don't know my Spider-Man. I don't know the character.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Scott's going to kill me.
100% on board with this. But yeah, no, I'm 100% with you on everything you're saying, because it is. She just doesn't age. Like, she is just forever hot,
Yeah.
Marissa Tomei.
Well, now I have to see The Wrestler.
Yeah.
Like, you've sold me on this because I forgot she was in that. So now I will be looking this up. All right. So you said it's a good look into like indie wrestling. So it's not like this dude isn't WWE style. He's not Hulk Hogan.
So kind of the vibe of the movie is like at one point in like the 80s, he was like a Hulk Hogan level dude.
Okay.
That was like on top, making money, all this stuff. But as time has passed on and he's aged, he can't stop chasing the dragon. And even though he's no longer in the limelight, he's still doing pro wrestling, but now he's like doing it to where like he's working a second job, or he's like working in a deli, and he's still wrestling on the weekends and destroying his body. And, you know, he has various issues with his health and the personal relationships in his life, and like getting with Marissa Tomei is like adding some normality to it. But then it becomes this story of like, who does he put first? His first love of wrestling or Marissa Tomei?
Oh man.
It's a pretty easy answer. It's Marissa Tomei.
Yeah,
It's
for
Marissa
sure,
Tomei.
for
Like,
sure.
what the fuck are you doing? You're over 50. Stop fucking wrestling in VFW halls and just go bang Marissa Tomei. But he
I
can't.
would love it if she played herself in that movie. Like she was just Marissa Tomei like in love with this indie wrestler.
Yeah.
and that's her speech to him. Like, I'm Marissa Tomei. Like, do you realize how many guys?
Do you understand? Like this it's going to look like this forever. Like I could be 86 and it's still going to be this hot. And he's just like, right, but I got to make this shot in fucking, you know, I got to go to Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania and go to a fucking VFW hall and wrestle in front of 200 people. And she's like, but I'm Marissa Tomei. Like, come on, make it work. What are we doing here?
That would be the best way to get to the pinnacle of that movie. Just
Yeah.
like the crescendo, the big heartfelt speech is just Marissa Tomei being like, I'm Marissa Tomei.
Yeah. Like, do you not like you're just, it's like you just won like $12 million on a scratch off lottery ticket. And you're like, yep, fuck that. Gonna throw that in the trash. That's why they're over here now. Also, like Bruce Springsteen doing the soundtrack for the movie, which if you get Bruce to do the soundtrack, I'm in, because, you know, it's a whole bunch of stuff where it's like, oh, the factory shut down. And nobody's taking my power bomb anymore. It's just like, all right, Bruce, awesome, sick. Thanks for being here.
Oh shit. That was the best Bruce impression I've heard.
It's
That was
every
good.
every Bruce Springsteen song is that. It really is. Like everything is just like there's always a factory shutting down and things are sad on the East Coast.
He's got a song about my hometown, Youngstown, and like whenever he he'll play Youngstown, and people in Youngstown are like, "Fuck yeah, he did the song!" And then it's like, you realize this is about how shitty Youngstown is,
Yeah.
right? Like he's talking about how depressing it is to be here, and you're like, "You goddamn right, that's for me. Thanks, boss."
Yeah, this is like when people put "Born in the USA" on their 4th of July playlist. It's like, yeah. Make sure you get that and "Fortunate Son" back to back, so we can really just, you know, enjoy some irony with our hot dogs. Like, come on, dude. Yeah. It is. Yeah, the Bruce Springsteen thing is just so weird. It was so weird when him and like Obama did that podcast together. That was super
Yeah,
weird.
That was bizarre.
We're a couple rebels. It's like you, a guy who's been a multi-millionaire for over 4 decades and a former president. Yeah, you guys are fucking rebels.
I mean, that if I could depict the perfect version of me, like embodied in podcast, that would be it. That's it. That's me, I guess, according to Bruce Springsteen and Barack Obama.
It's just that.
We're the everyman.
Yeah,
we're the average Joe, you know? We're just a couple of guys.
Just normal everyday dudes that were either selling out Madison Square Garden or, you know, being the leader of the free world. Just regular folk.
You know how it is.
Yes, that's what we are. We're regular people
Oh, shit.
having a regular podcast. Like, what the fuck?
I did not have a Tank Barack Obama impression on the bingo card for today.
All you got to do is just talk really slowly.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do for
Very
an Obama.
staccato voice, yeah.
Yeah. There's pillows on the couch. Like, that's all you got to do.
Oh, shit. And then you just got to name his daughters.
Yeah.
Sasha, Melania.
Yeah. Just, my wife is a lady.
Jesus.
I've had a lot of emails sent to me in a chain. Not a fan of this. She is not Big Mike.
You're bringing a whole new subset of listeners on this show, Tank.
Dude, that's what I need to do. The numbers are down. I'm a white guy in my 40s. I really need to lean right at this
Pivot.
point.
Hard pivot.
That's where the grift is at, brother. You get on that right wing money. Hell yeah.
All you gotta do is just throw that out there. Episode title: Is Michelle Obama really a woman? Boom, 1 million downloads.
Boom. 6 months from now, me, Diamond, and Silk, we're hanging out, chilling. Actually, I think one of them died. I don't know which one's left. I don't know if Diamond's down or Silk's down. It might be the future. Diamond and Tank and Silk. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Either one of those sounds great to me.
Yeah, I think that's next level. All right, man. Let's do this. Let's get into the main topic tonight. So as we start to dive into this, I want to point this out. So this is like a hobby and collection podcast, but this is not something you were doing as a hobby or collection. Like this was your job for a long time. You were a professional stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
And I just want to like have this conversation first off of like the weird Venn diagram that exists in the world of the arts where it's like business and career and then something where you're like in a creative field where you're making something. And like, how that breaks down for people. Cause it is a weird thing. Cause like I have that as an artist, like people are like, oh, you're having so much fun doing that thing you love. And it's like, it's a fucking skill.
Yeah.
I make things.
Right.
You can't do this, but for some reason you devalue what I do to where it's just like, it's a fun little neat thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, here, draw something. Fucking draw. Go ahead. Let me see what you can make. Let me see what you can do. You know, and so I feel that way about like stand up comedy, where like people can like try to be dismissive of it because it is a creative thing or that. But that's not what I want this to be. But I do want to talk about this world that you were once a part of.
Yeah, and it's funny you mention that too, because there's almost like this feeling among people where they're like, well, people laugh at stuff I say. I'm hilarious at work, so I could be a stand-up comedian. It's like, well, it's not quite the same as like telling the latest dick joke that you heard. Like it's a lot, there's a lot that goes into it. But I think what's cool about like stand-up comedy and any really career in the arts is that it can start off as a hobby. Like you can start it off as like, I like to draw things. I like to go up on stage and tell jokes, and I just do it for fun and it brings me joy, and that's cool. And then as you start to get into it, you're like, actually, you know, some people are like, I'm good. This is great as a hobby forever, and I'll just do this once a month, and it's a fun way to blow off steam or whatever. And then other people are like, I can do this pretty well. Like maybe I should continue on, and then it grows to become this career option. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like I think that's what's cool about anything in the arts is that you can kind of stop at whatever level you want. Like get off the train wherever you want. You want Hobbyville? Cool. You want to go down to Career Junction? Stick on for a while because it's a long fucking way to get there.
100% agree with that, man. Yeah, I think it is interesting. It is one of those things where, and again, here's another Venn diagram to bring into it. Where does something that you love doing become something that is a job and something you can end up hating?
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, fuck, I do this all the time. This is this thing I'm always making. It's just like, I don't love this anymore, you know? Because like the love is gone because now it is so much of a job.
I've seen that so much with headliners that I've worked with where like there are some dudes you get into the green room and they're just like really fun to be around. It's a great hang. It's like cool to work with them. And then other guys you get in the green room and you can just tell like they're miserable.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, it's broken you. You're broken. Okay. I see where we're at now. Like you've been doing this for so long. You've been doing the same clubs, the same venues. It's like a routine at this point and you just hate it. Like it's become your office job and you didn't get into it for this. So now you just hate your life. Got it.
I didn't get to the point where I hated announcing roller derby, but I did get to the point where I was bored with it. Yeah. Where I was like, I've done this. I no longer have butterflies. Right. I know what's going to happen in every situation. It's kind of whatever. I've seen this thing unfold again and again. And the things that I have left on my bucket list, I'm never going to achieve because of politics. So, okay, I'm good. Yeah. You know, and then being able to exit from there. But yeah, I could totally see like getting to that point where you're like 20 years into something, you're like, oh fuck, this is the level I'm at. This is not the level I wanted to be at, but now I'm here. Right. And I don't know how to get off the ride.
Yeah. Yeah. Or it's to the point where you were like, I was at a higher level than this, and now I'm doing chuckle fucks in Mansfield, Ohio. Like, what happened to me?
Yeah, the Carlos Mencias of the world, right? Where it's like I had a show, like a very popular show on Comedy Central. Like I was a guy that was headlining arenas. Yeah, and now I'm lucky if I can fill like a moderate comedy club.
Yeah, so you run into that spectrum of dudes like and women too that are. It's more rare, I will say, to find a female comic that hates doing comedy, but there are so many headliners, like guy headliners, that are just like, I fucking hate this shit, man. And it's like, well, then why are you doing it?
Yeah, why are you still doing
it? Like, if you don't love it, let it go. just be done, man. It's cool.
But it could just be change is hard.
Yeah,
you know, they don't have an exit strategy and what else they could do that could make them money at that level, and then also it becomes the change of like, you know, do I still love the adoration of the crowd? Right. Like, you know, because that seems like a drug. Like I could not imagine doing an art where like people are stoked to see me.
Yeah, dude. Like that instant feedback. You're 100%. It is like a drug. Like that, knowing that something that you thought of and that you thought was funny resonated with like a room full of people that also thought it was funny, and you get to hear immediately. Like that's the one thing I miss about transitioning and doing a podcast instead is I don't get that instant reaction. It's Rodney Dangerfield in Caddyshack. Like you're like, fuck, is this hidden?
Yeah, am I
'Cause
bombing?
I don't get that laugh that I'm used to hearing at this beat.
One thing I've tried to start doing more with watching your show on Tuesdays is I try to start using the reacts more because I want you guys to know that like what you said was funny, but like not type in the thing, be like, that's funny, Scott. That's funny, Mike.
LOL!
Yeah.
Exclamation mark. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, Tank came in LMAO last time.
Yeah.
Duh, fuck this one up.
but it is that thing where it is that instant gratification of like, all right, cool. They're in on it. They're down with it.
Yeah, and then once you get that first laugh of a set, dude, it carried you through. Like it really was like a high of just like, this is cloud nine, man. Like when the crowd was like really feeling something and you could hear the energy level, just there was nothing else like that.
I think like being on a stage is one of those things where it can either go really bad or really good, where if you're up there, because you're vulnerable, like the spotlight's on you, you're the only person. And if people don't laugh, it's just like, or any kind of thing, like a band, if you're a band and like you finish a song and there's like a few people that are like, and it's like, oh no, that's not the reaction I was looking for. But then we get the opposite end of it, where it's like somebody's dying laughing, the crowd's like, like encore. It's like, oh shit, like this is a total high.
I gotta be honest, I also liked the feeling when I would completely bomb.
Really?
When it was like crickets, or just like you knew going in it was gonna be a shitty show. Like there's two people in there and the NFC Championship is playing on a TV next to you at the stage. You're like, oh, this is gonna suck. It's gonna be bad. And then you eat it for like, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45, whatever it is. And every time I would just sink lower and lower into it of like, well, I got nothing to lose at this point. So why not try out new stuff, do things that like you can take risks more when you're bombing like that. Like when you're killing it and everybody's laughing and feeling you want to keep that going. So when you're bombing, you can just be like, well, fuck, like this is for me now. And now it's not for you. Now it's for me. I'm going to do stuff that I never would try in front of a crowd. I'll try it out here.
There's freedom in failure.
Yep, exactly.
Like you're already fucking up.
Right.
So who cares? Like, it can't get worse.
Right.
All you can do is climb out of it.
Yeah, you're not going to like me. So so let's just not like me for the rest of this time here. And I'll just have some fun for myself.
Well, let me ask you this, man. Like, what was the thing that got you to first walk on a stage? Like, how did you make that decision of like, you know what, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna tell some jokes?
I've always loved stand up. I like probably when I was like 7 or 8. My buddy had a VHS recording of a one-man show, Stephen Banks Home Entertainment. And it was like this just corny, like looking back, it was really shitty. Like it really wasn't good. But as an 8-year-old, I was like, this is awesome.
This guy's killing it.
It's one guy on stage and he's doing impressions. Oh, this is great. So like that got me into this idea of like, oh, you can just like go on stage and make people laugh. That's a cool way to make money and do things. And then like, we got Comedy Central later on. We got The Box. And I remember sitting there watching Comedy Central Presents with Jeremy Hotz. My parents were dying laughing. And I was like, this is the craziest thing. Like now it's not like a one-man show. Now it's just a dude with a microphone. Yeah. And I'm like, this is even... That seems like even less to deal with than this guy who's got to do impressions and stuff. This guy's just telling funny stories. So I've always loved the art and like loved following stand-up comedy. And then when I was at Xavier sophomore year, they had like a competition for like last muskie standing, and all my friends were like, "You got to do it, you got to do it." And I'm like, "No, I just like watching. I'm not gonna get up there and perform." Did
they know that you were like a stand-up fan?
Yeah, they knew I loved stand-up. Like that was the year that Dane Cook came to Xavier's campus, and I fucking camped out for 5 days outside of Cintas Center so that I could get like the first row seats for that show. So everybody knew I was into stand up and loved it. So they were like, you gotta do it, you gotta do it. And I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna do it. So finally my buddy was like, if you do it, whatever prize money you get, I'll match it. And we'll just have a fucking kegger. And I was like,
sick.
All right, yeah, cool. Let's do it. Let's go. So I signed up and I came in second in that contest.
Nice.
And was like, all right, well, let's see, like, what's an open mic like at the club? Like, how's that go? And from then I was hooked. Like I couldn't stop. I always wanted to be on stage. I was going up to Go Bananas like every Wednesday, just hanging out. I was hitting up bar shows. Like it was weird how quick that drug took effect.
What's your like feeling walking on, like before going on stage and once you're on stage? Because like the way I'm kind of thinking of it in my head, because I've never done it because I'm too much of a pussy, but like I kind of think of like the way I felt before like football games, where I was like really anxiety ridden, and then after the first plane I got hit, I was like, all right, we're cool. We're in the pocket now.
That's exactly how it was for me. I can't speak to everyone because I feel like everybody's got their own thing. You know, there's people who are like listening to music in the green room to like get ready, and other people who are just out ripping butts, like smoking cigarettes nonstop. And then like my thing was I would always pace in the back of the room, like 2 comics before. If it was like an open mic night, even like just a shitty open mic, like not even anything major, like a big time show, but like even a shitty open mic night, 2 comics before, I was just pacing in the back of the room, like couldn't sit still, like really almost stressed, like anxious. My mouth was like getting dry. And then as soon as you get that first laugh, it's like, all right, I'm good. I got it now.
Yeah.
Like I'm here. We're in it. Like I could breathe. We're good. But that time between like when I know it's getting close and when I deliver that first joke was like the most stress inducing, but the endorphin release when you get that first laugh, oh my God, dude. Like it was the best. It was amazing. As soon as that laugh hit, you were just like, it was like tantric sex at that point.
All right, cool. We're cool. Yeah. I think what you're describing there with like the idea of ritual before a show is just like, I can relate to that from like before, you know, working derby games, like doing like play-by-play and just being like, all right, I have my ritual that I do where like I do voice warm-ups and me and the other announcers talk to each other, and just to like get in, like, I just cannot imagine doing anything where you're on a stage where like you don't have a ritual beforehand, or like you don't have a thing that like gets you psyched into the zone to go up and perform.
Yeah.
Because it's
definitely.
it's just something that just doesn't, like, again, it's one of those things where you ask people like, what's your greatest fear? And so many people say public speaking.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it is that way for a lot of people. So you have to have like something where you're like, okay, I kind of normalize this event. I have this ritual that gets me into the mindset to be able to perform and do this.
Yeah. And once you find what that ritual is, that fear, it's not that it goes away. It's just that it's more manageable. Where like, you're like, no, this is normal. I recognize this feeling. I can go with this. It's cool.
Yeah. No. Yeah, 100%. That whole thing where it's just like, all right, man, like I've had this feeling before. I know what this is. This is not new ground. And also it kind of helps to like normalize the size of the venue that you're working in. Yeah. Because if you have a ritual, it doesn't matter if like you're performing in front of like 100 people or 20,000 people or whatever it is, or like, you know, if something's getting streamed and you're like, oh, this could literally be going to hundreds of thousands of people. It's just like, I have my thing that I do, and this is what I do before I perform, and it gets me in my zone and my mindset. Yep,
absolutely. Although that crowd size always did amp up the anxiety levels for me. So like if it was only like 10 people out there, you would think it'd be like, all right, this is better. But no, that was even more stressful. And then if it's like thousands of people, like I would do Brew Haha, where there's literally thousands of people walking by that can hear your voice. Like I'm on the main stage at Brew Haha, and like that anxiety through the roof. Cause like, I'm like, this could be, cause then everything starts playing. Oh, this could be like huge for me. Like what if something's out there that hears this, that can then, you know, give me a leg up and like bring me, like all of those thoughts are going through your head. So even though you have your routine of like, all right, I pace here, I drink, I have a drink here, I wait, I do this, like all those start creeping in, and you're like, oh fuck, this, even my routine's off now.
I think what you're talking about there is like the extremes of it, where, you know, like you're talking like a crowd of 10 people. It's so intimate, you know, it's just like, hey, we're all here together. So if I don't make you laugh, I'm going to know I'm not making you laugh. Yeah. And then the other end of it is like a big open area where it's like, holy shit, there's thousands of people here. Oh my God, I hope they don't hate me. You know, like that's, those are two very big extremes, but it is reality where like both are like, this is a different level of anxiety.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What about, so do you remember like what your first open mic was like? Like, so outside of like doing the college thing, like when you went to like go do your first one, where you're like, all right, nobody really knows me here. My friends aren't here. It's just me. I'm on a stage and now I'm here.
Yeah, the first open mic I ever did, it was shortly after that contest. And I remember like I did the same thing that every first time open micer screws up. And I sat with like my buddy near the front of the stage instead of sitting in the back with the comedians. So when I get called up, I'm like awkwardly walking from the side of the stage and like scaring the guy that's bringing me up. I'm like, oh, I'm here. And he's like, oh, what the fuck you got? God damn, there's an aisle, man. Come down the aisle. He thought I was like bum rushing the stage. But like, I remember sitting there.
Are you going to fucking school shoot us right now? Like, what the fuck's happening?
Yeah, it was bad. But like, I remember watching the first comedian. It was a dude named Alex Stone, who's super funny. He's had some TV shows that he's got, but like, he killed it. And I looked at my friend and I went, I am not ready for this. This is going to be awful. And then I ended up doing like everybody, every young white male comedian at the time when I first started was just a ripoff of Dane Cook, like trying to like, oh, hey, remember when this was a thing? Hey, that's crazy. And like doing that kind of bullshit. So I did that and I'm ashamed that was put out into the world. But like, it's kind of where I started, you know, like.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things where I feel like that's kind of everything. Because, like, again, a lot of times when I think about arts, I always think about music where it's like it has like a lot of diversity in terms of like what you can do with it.
Yeah.
But there is also a thing where it's like, hey, this is the popular thing at the time. This is kind of what people are mimicking. So it makes sense. You're like, hey, this is what I'm into. So now I'm going to do this.
Right. Well, and that was like one of the points for me that like steered me to like, I could, when Dane Cook came out with Harmful If Swallowed, I was like a senior in high school. I had that shit memorized like immediately. That's how often I was playing that CD. And like that, he was so big. He like made people get back into stand-up comedy. So it made sense that like everybody was trying to do that. Cause like, this is why the crowds are back.
Right.
Because they've seen this guy, you know, get so popular.
Yeah, Dane Cook was like the dude right before podcasts. Like he was the guy where it was like, hey, there's something happening over here, because before then there really wasn't a lot, because it was all like the 80s evening at the Improv kind of thing.
Right. It was Dave Coulier with the rolled up the rolled up sport coat and like button down shirt. And be like, what's the deal with airplanes? Yeah,
and then there was like there was like the Kings of Comedy. So like so then you had like black comedy, and then you also had like the fucking the redneck comedy.
Oh yeah,
what was that?
Yeah, with Jeff Foxworthy, and Larry the Cable Guy.
Yeah, like stand-up comedy got weird for a minute, where it was like, hey, we got like 4 dudes that do a thing, and then they all go on a tour together, and that was like the big acts, and it was just like, all right, like, is there like an individual voice kind of thing happening? And then Dane Cook showed up, and it did that, and then again Carlos Mencia, and then that's when you had like after that was kind of the fucking Louis C.K.
Yeah. It was, but that started the boom. Like that's when people started coming back to comedy, and like looking back, man, I don't understand why. I watched Dane Cook's Comedy Central Presents special, and I was like, I think they're pumping in the laughs. I don't think, like, I'm watching this at home, knowing what's coming up next, and it's something that I've seen hundreds of times and would laugh at like certain points every time. I'm just like, that wasn't a good joke. That was badly written. Like, oh, he's struggling here. That's why he's playing to the camera. Like that, nobody's laughing. That's what's happening here. Nobody's laughing. I'm like, how the fuck did this get everybody back?
Yeah, it was a weird place in time. It really was, in terms of like what had happened before. Because again, there was the whole thing with the '80s with like Eddie Murphy, Andrew Dice Clay, Sam Kinison.
Yeah.
And then, in the '90s, like Seinfeld and stuff. But then it kind of went dormant for a bit. And then, Dane Cook.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Dane Cook. Dane fucking Cook.
What are the odds? So what was like the original stuff you were like when you first started out? Like, what was your material like, and then how did it evolve over time?
My material was shit at the beginning. It was just like hacky, like college frat boy type stuff. And then I did evolve to, I had a weekend at Go Bananas I was hosting for headliner Vince Morris, who I worked with several times after that. He was the man. I loved Vince Morris. That was the dude that like it was the first weekend I hosted, and he took me out with him afterwards, and we ended up at like an IHOP at 4 a.m, like drunk as fuck, and
Nice.
I was like, I want to do this for the rest of my life. This is the greatest. Of course I would want to be at an IHOP at 4 a.m drunk. Hell yeah, dude, let's do it.
This is great. Obviously, we made the best career decisions ever. This can never go wrong.
But Vince was like, he was like, your stuff's good, but like, write about you, because nobody can steal if it's about you. Like, if it's something that happened to you, then nobody can take that, because only you can tell that story the right way. And that really stuck with me, and that's when I started focusing my writing just more on like events that happened to me, or like my personal life, like growing up and things like that, and things that I just kind of turned the stories of like any experience that actually happened to me. I tried to find the funny in that so that nobody could take it from me.
I like what you're saying right there. I think that that's great advice. As far as like being a fan of comedy, I do definitely like comedians that are more real than fake. I feel like that's like one of the things that I struggle with like Bert Kreischer.
Yeah.
Where like that fucking machine story is totally made up. There's no way that fucking thing is real. And it's just like, come on, dude. Like, is this really the whole thing? Like, and then you get shirtless on stage and people laugh. Like, come on, man. Like, so I do think there is something about like having like an authentic voice and like being like, hey man, this is it's something that happened. And I'm not against like if you kind of add to it.
Oh, for sure, you got to embellish and twist things and stuff like that. Like I remember I had a joke that I would tell where I talked about me and my brother, because every joke has like a kernel of truth to it. Mm-hmm. Like there's something that's real in every single joke. The rest of it might all be bullshit, but there's at least something in there that started as a seed of like, this is a real thing that happened. So like my brother,
I think that's what's important.
For sure.
Where that's where like I don't like the Bert thing, where it's just like, this is obviously completely fucking fake.
Yeah.
Whereas like other people, at least like I get that jokes can be embellished, but at the same time, it's like there is truth.
Yeah, exactly. And like, so I used to tell a joke where like my brother and I, our birthday is 2 days apart, but we're 6 years apart. And I never understood that until I figured out how sex works, and I did the math, and 9 months before is our parents' anniversary. And that's 100% true. So like my brother and I used to laugh about like, oh, that's why we have this, we're due on the same day, because that's weird. That's awkward. Like that. And that was like a true thing. So then and that's where the joke becomes next level, is like, that's okay. All right. That's kind of funny. But then I said I had 3 sisters, and their birthdays are December 13th, 15th, and 17th. And when you do the math on that, 9 months before that is St. Patrick's Day. Whoopsies. So that's all bullshit. Like, that's all fake. But you take that kernel of like, haha, my parents were banging on their anniversary and they got 2 kids out of it, to what else could they have banged to produce kids? And it was like, oh, St. Patrick's Day. Hell yeah, just...
Set them up, knock them down. I mean, that's where you go with that.
So yeah, there's always something that like you have to expand upon. But that's like, then somebody hears that joke and they're like, well, I can never steal that one. I can't. You know what I mean? Like, that's a Berlon story.
What was your writing process like? Like, how do you approach writing jokes? Like, are you a guy that gets into like Google Docs or like Microsoft Word, or you do this like, hey man, I got like a little book that I write things down?
Yeah, when I was doing it, I had a notebook that anytime something happened that was like out of the ordinary, I would try to write it down. And then I would go through and try to figure out if there's any funny in it. Like I have so many notebooks that are just like a weird thing that happened on the way to work, and then like me with diagrams trying to figure out how can this be funny? Like where can I pull a joke out of it? And a lot of times you can't. Like there's just nothing funny there. Like just move on. So once I would finally get the idea of a joke, I would always run it by my wife. And I would be like, I got this premise. What do you think? And she was really a good judge of like, that's stupid. Like, don't ever say that to another human being. Or she'd be like, I could see. Right. She's like, no, I don't want you to say that to people. Please. I actually really didn't like that you said it to me. So
I'm thinking about a divorce right now, to be honest with you. Like, yeah, fucking back off on that. That'd be cool.
But yeah, she was really good about that. So then once I had that premise in place, then it was just, I did a lot of my writing like on stage where I would go up with the premise and just try to figure it out.
What's
and it
that
would
like,
bomb.
man? Like,
It's awful.
like,
It's stupid. It's so dumb.
Okay, so break that down for me. So like you're going like do you have like any punchlines in your head when you're going up with that?
Yeah, you kind of have an idea of like how you want the joke to end, but you don't know how you're really going to get to that point yet. Like you've got the premise and you've got an idea of how it should end, but you got to make it interesting in between. So that's where I would just and I think honestly that's why I do so well like with the ad-libbing on the podcast is because that's like how I would try to figure out what was funny with the jokes. And you don't do this, like you're not doing this at like a paid show, you know, on the weekend. You're doing this at like a bar show in front of 15 people in Kentucky. You know what I mean? Like and 9 times out of 10 it bombs. And then you find one part of the story that works or one part of it that people respond to and you're like, okay, now let me build off of this. And how can this become better and how can I build off of that? And it becomes like this tree of it worked here. I tried this, it didn't work. So then I tried this and that worked. So then from that point I tried this and it didn't work. And then I tried this and it didn't work. And then I tried this and it didn't work. Then I tried this and it worked. So now I can go down this path.
Yeah.
So it was all like, it took me forever to write like a joke that I really liked.
We're definitely getting into the realm of the Joe Rogan sharpening the katana thing where it's like, hey man, which, all right, side quest. Joe Rogan. I miss old Joe the same way I miss the old Kanye. That's where I'm at on this. Like, I really miss Joe pre 2016 when he just like had a podcast where he'd bring on like a scientist and be like, "Whoa, that's what's happening with science." And he'd like bring on like a Bigfoot and be like, "Whoa, Bigfoot," and then he would bring on some guy that was like doing jujitsu, and he's like, "Whoa, jujitsu!" Like I miss that. So you know, if we get back to that, Joe, please.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be great.
That'd be great to get back to that.
Yeah. Please make that happen again.
Oh shit.
But all right, sorry. Wait, reset the track there. Where were we before the Joe Rogan thing?
Sharpening the katana.
Yeah, sharpening the katana. Yes. So, but with that, it's like I do find it interesting of like the idea of like trying to figure out like how this joke hits and what you should take away from it, and then building the joke on top of that, and like having that real response in real time where people are like, "This is either good or not."
Yeah, I found like for me personally, and this was just how like I have friends that wrote several different ways, which by the way, I got kicked out of so many writing circles because I laughed at too much stuff. Like I find because I love stand up so much that when friends would like give me a premise, I'd be like, "Oh my God, that's amazing. Do that. You should totally do that." And then it would bomb and it would just be me laughing in the back of the room. And eventually that happened so many times they were like, "I don't want to write with you anymore."
Hey, that dog fucking joke you thought was gold, turns out it's not. Like it's really
That's a
bad.
great idea. That's a great joke. Dog fucking? Oh man.
Dog
that's
fucking?
killing.
I mean, golden retrievers throwing it back. Come on now, that's what America wants. It's like turns out not what America wants. They didn't want any part of that. They were very fucking disgusted.
Swinging a miss on my part. Sorry, I thought
Sorry,
that was
guys.
great, guys. I thought you really had something there.
Sorry, I thought it was next level.
But yeah, there are so many that like have to get it like scripted, right? Like they've got to be like, I'm going to be very particular about word choice, and I would need it scripted so that I've got this in my head and I'm going to say it just like this. I couldn't do that. Like I had to be more. I need the reaction from the crowd to figure out
where to take it.
Yeah.
What's it like to like respond to that in real time where you're now having to, like, you don't have a set thing. Like you don't have a set act where your act is dependent upon what people are giving you.
So that was mainly just when like I was doing new jokes. So it would be, I always sandwiched a new joke in between two jokes that I know worked.
Okay.
So like I would get the audience on my side and then I tried to shoehorn in a new joke. And if it didn't work, I wasn't worried about it because then I had a good joke coming up that I knew I could get him back on my side. But if it bombed or if it went great, it was like, oh, cool. This is, we're going to keep riding this high. So it wasn't, it always got shoehorned in between two jokes that were tried and true that I'm like, this hits every time I tell it. I'll throw this in here.
That makes sense. And I think that's an important thing to point out to the listener where like, the idea of the momentum of being a stand-up comic where it's like you have to have stuff where you get the crowd on your side to get the joke.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times with like comedians, it's like you're going to say something that, I mean, at least for me, like my initial reaction when anything's said that is fucked up, I laugh.
Yeah,
because
me too.
Exactly.
Dog fucking great.
Yeah, dog
That's
fucking
awesome.
hilarious. Yeah. And it's just because that's just like I'm a stand-up comedy fan, so it's just like that's where I go. But at the same time, there's like an edge of that where you have to like figure out how to carve that out for like the general population to where they laugh at what you're saying and they're on your side, but they build equity and trust with you that they get that what you're saying is a joke, as opposed to like, oh shit, you're really fucking racist, you're really fucking sexist. Right. It's like, no, I'm not. I'm making fun of that actually.
Yeah. It always made me laugh. There's like this big comedy crutch where somebody would come up and tell a joke that was like really off color or really heinous. And then they would just be like, yeah, I was just testing you guys out to see what kind of crowd we had tonight. And I was like, that's a weird risk to take to like throw something out like that. Like just, hey, let's see what happens here. Oh, it bombed. Well, you all hate me. So this is going to go terrible.
Yeah. Like you're coming on stage and you're just like homos. And it's like, all right.
Just want to see where we were at on it.
Just want to see where we're up there. All right, cool. All right, well, here we are. Just like, all right. It's like, oh, fuck, dude. Like, what are you doing? Why was this the thing to do?
Dig out of this hole, I guess, for the next 10 minutes.
Well, and that's the thing. You're digging out of the hole, or either that or everybody was like, and you're like, all right.
Right, you're like, okay.
Easy street. All right, here we go.
Least common denominator. Got it. Here we go. A lot of fart jokes coming up, everybody.
Exactly. A cum in her mouth. Applause break. 15 seconds. See? Exactly.
It's a great punchline.
Yeah,
it's a great punchline.
It works.
We just got to figure out the premise.
Yeah,
that's a great punchline.
Working on it. What's it like dealing with hecklers? Because like that's something like I've never like is I've been to multiple stand-up comedy shows. I've been front row. I've been back at the room. I've been all over the place. Yeah. Whatever. I've never had the urge to be like, I'm gonna fuck with you. Like what is that like to be on the receiving end of?
You know, it sucks too. And I'm all of the TikTok generation. I'm so glad that I've left the stand-up world now, because I see these TikToks where it's just like comedian crushes heckler, and like it's somebody yells something out and then the comedian does some joke and it gets everybody back on their side or whatever. But like it kills me because I'm like, you're just emboldening. All of these videos are just emboldening people to be like, I'm gonna yell shit out at a show.
Yeah,
so like as somebody who still loves watching stand-up and seeing stand-up, I don't want people yelling shit out. So like I always took the mentality when somebody would be heckling or yelling stuff out that like the majority of the crowd doesn't care what they say. They're on my side.
Yes.
So I now have free reign to say whatever I want because the room wants me to win this fight. So I can say things and do things that like is going to get a better reaction from them than whatever this heckler is.
You also have a microphone.
Exactly.
Like, which is another thing. Heckling is crazy. It's like being like a 120-pound dude and sucker punching somebody. It's like, what are you doing? Like, why did you think this was the best idea?
Yeah, I haven't had too many moments when like I got like super flustered by a heckle, but it always would piss me off because like I would set up a joke and that's when the heckle, like for some reason it always hit at the setup.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, now my float, like you fucked
us all up. You fucked the vibe, bro.
Yeah, like I
had a flow
build
going
into something and then you ruined this whole thing. You got us off track. But I always took the approach of like, let's just face this head on, because if one person says something, and I only headlined for a brief time before I stopped doing it. So like I was the meat shield. I was like the host or the middle act that people were starting to get drunk and starting to feel like they could talk. And I had to be the one to shut it down so that it didn't interrupt the headliner set, like I would just go head on at it. And like I said, the crowd was on my side.
Yeah.
So it feels easier to do.
It's just such a crazy idea. It's just, I just cannot imagine like being in the crowd and being like, you know what? Now's my time to fucking yell some shit out. Yeah. It's time for me to say some things.
Every heckler though, it's like, it sounds like they're they're coming from like this bad place, but I really truly believe that every heckler is like, I'm helping.
Better.
I'm
helping.
I'm doing,
which
I'm
is
doing
also a
good.
crazy thing.
Right. It's a weird thought process to be like, hey, I know you have spent so much time and effort writing this and perfecting this art. I'm going to help you out here. Okay. Listen.
I'm going to throw you a curveball, but in my brain, I'm throwing you a big old softball that you're going to like crank out. And it's just like, no, I'm just going to make fun of you because you're being a fucking dickhead right now. You're probably drunk. You know, I probably got the advantage here. Like,
exactly. Although I was drunk most of the time too.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it is one of those things where like every once in a while you will see a heckler get one, will get a goal.
Yeah.
But it's rare.
Yeah.
Like it is one of those things where again, it's like you don't have a mic.
Right.
Like you are so outgunned as the heckler.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But that doesn't stop anybody.
No.
Gotta love booze.
True. It does. It makes you feel very confident. I love it. Yeah. That's the reason why I can't quit it. Like my doctor won't give me an Adderall prescription. So I'm like, I need something that quiets the anxiety in my life. And that's where booze comes in.
Booze. Your doctor won't give you your Adderall medicine?
Yeah,
Booze.
Here you go. Fucking drink a few of these. Chill out. All right. So what is bombing like? Like,
it's the best. It's the best.
I would die.
Oh yeah, no, you are not comfortable in your skin. You want to crawl in a hole and die, but it's such a fun feeling.
Is this so weird that like when you're bombing, do you ever have the thought where you're just like, how the fuck does this mean people not think this is funny? Like,
yeah. Well, and that's another crutch that comedians will use is they'll be like, you guys just don't get it. Or like they rationalize it in their head of like, yeah, this just isn't for you. And it's like, nah, that's not really for anybody. I think there's some times when that's the case. You know, you're in a part of the country and you tell a joke that you're like,
this just doesn't hit.
Yeah, it's not going to land. But then don't tell that joke. Like the comedian should be smart enough to pivot their material.
You're fucking the net in Wisconsin.
Yes, exactly. But like, dude, when you bomb, it's so much fun. Because like I said before, it's so freeing to just be like, I can say whatever I want. Like you're not gonna like me at this point. It's not like I'm gaining new fans out of this. So fuck it. I'm just gonna do this for me.
It's like being on a bad date. We're just like, I'm gonna fart now. And it's cool. Look, we're not making it at the end of this thing. So just
the best part. Every time I bombed too, there was always at least one person that came up and was like, "Dude, that was fucking great.
That rocked. Hell yeah.
Like my man. That's what I appreciate. You.
Thank you. Dap it. Yeah, I see. That's the thing that has always kept me away from like doing stand-up comedy. Is like I just cannot imagine like going up on a stage and just like a room full of crickets, and I'm like, oh my god, am I this much of an asshole? Like that I'm not. Nobody likes me. Like I don't know. Like it just seems so fucking scary. Dude.
Yeah,
it seems so scary.
When it first happens, like when you first tell a joke, and you know you're gonna bomb like early. You can tell early on you're gonna bomb.
You feel it
either. Like you see other comedians that go up before and you know they're going to bomb or like...
It's like a weather vane where it's like spinning around.
Exactly.
You're like, oh shit.
All right, I'll tell you my favorite bombing story. I was doing a show, Vic Henley, RIP. I worked with him several times at Bananas. And he was like, he called me up and he's like, Mikey, I'm going to Cleveland to do a benefit show. I want you to open up for me. I'll take care of you. I'm like, great. That's awesome. So I drive up to Cleveland. The benefit show is like... Real Housewives of Cleveland. Like they're raising money. And that's what the vibe was. Like it's just older, like 40s, 50s-year-old ladies that are clearly rich because this is at House of Blues Cleveland. Like there's a bid and buy with like all these expensive gifts in it. And I walked in, I was like, I am about to fucking eat shit. This is going to be terrible.
Hey, who wants to buy a $2,500 basket? It's like, no, I'm good.
Who wants to see a 28-year-old talk about drinking at his kid's birthday party and throwing up in a bucket? Mike Berlon, everybody. So
Yo, who's down with eating pussy? What's up? It's like, oh, god damn it.
So I get up there and I have to do 15 minutes and they did not laugh one time. Like it was not a sound. The only sound was like the people in the back talking, like in the back of the room. because they didn't stop the raffle. They kept the raffle. It wasn't like they were like, okay, we're going to do a comedy show now. They were just
Shut
like,
it down.
They were just like, get up there, go talk. And I was like, hey, what's up, Cleveland?
I'll put $250 on that. It's like, oh, God damn it. Okay.
So I ate it. I come off stage, and Zydrunas Ogalskis is standing backstage, Big Z from the Cavs, and immediately now I'm embarrassed because I was like, I just ate shit in front of Zydrunas Ogalskis. Like, that's awful. So then Vic Henley comes around the corner, this good old boy from Alabama. He's like, Mikey, you ate a dick up there. And he's making fun of me. And I was like, yeah, that was rough, Vic. And he goes, Z, did you see that? He ate a dick. And Zydrunas Ogalskis goes, fuck these people. And I'm like,
hell yeah, dude.
that's awesome.
Perfect.
And Vic's like, oh yeah, fuck these people. Mike, he said, fuck these people. All right, get out of here. I'll take care of you. And then he went up and crushed for 45 minutes. It was brutal. It was brutal.
I'm glad you had a good night. I'm sorry about your night. It sucks that happened.
But it was awesome for like Zydrunas Ogalskis to just be like, fuck these people. Like, yeah, hell yeah, man.
It's kind of like when fucking Bill Burr did the O&A Philly thing.
Yes. Yeah.
It might be my favorite stand-up set of all time.
That's a perfect example of somebody bombing that just stops giving a fuck and does it for them.
Yeah.
And then he ended up winning over the crowd.
Yeah, well, because they just couldn't. So, listener, if you've never seen it, YouTube Bill Burr Philadelphia. I think that'll get you to it.
Yep, that should do it.
Yeah, that should do it. But what happened was back in the day, there was Opie and Anthony. It was like the afternoon Stern show, and they were kind of the godfathers of what happened in terms of podcasts, of like comedians being able to like just kind of hang out and riff for a while. And so they did this whole thing where they were like doing a tour where they were taking comedians around and they were doing shows. And Philadelphia, they went there and like everybody went out there, fucking
just bombed.
died.
Just bombed.
Everybody died. And it was like, it wasn't their material. It was Philly. And then fucking Bill Burr goes out on stage and just attacks the city of Philadelphia for like 12 minutes.
A joke didn't hit, and he was just like, fuck
you.
Just ripped on him for being racist, like having a statue to Rocky. Joe Frazier's from there. He doesn't have a statue. Like, just shit on the city and the crowd for 12 minutes. And because he even said he would count down. That was my favorite part of that, where he was like, I'm doing my full. I got 8 minutes left. I will be selling merch after the show.
3 minutes left. 2 minutes left. Like, just walking it down. That is by far my favorite quote unquote bombing of all time.
Absolutely.
It's just Bill Burr decimating the city of Philadelphia. So what is it like working bills with other comedians? Because, okay, so this is the thing I want to ask, because as an artist, like, I don't really have to work with other people if I don't want to. Like, it's like a very singular thing. I can draw things, I can paint things, I can make things on Photoshop, Illustrator, whatever. I don't have to fuck with somebody else unless I'm like, hey man, I'm into you. We do similar things. Let's hang out. Let's make some stuff. Whereas with stand-up comedians, every show you're on with different people.
Yeah.
What's it like interacting in a world where you're playing a single player sport, but you're part of a group?
Yeah. So it's kind of strange. So when I did it, depending on your level, really kind of determines that. So like, when you're starting out and you're the host, like, you have to really get along with the feature act, because that is the next man up, right? Generally at a club show, the headliner is bringing their own feature act, and it's like a buddy of theirs that they like to travel with, or that they want to give an opportunity to try to get in at a club. So if you're the host, you want to latch onto that feature act and really try to get to know them. Not only that, you spend most time with them because the headliner's up for 45 minutes and you two are just like chilling in the back, like hanging out. So it's really weird, especially if you don't get along with them, because the first show of the weekend, you can tell if you guys are going to hit it off or not. And if you don't, you now have 5 more shows of just like, well, we're going to be scrolling on our phones in this green room. We're like, I'll go to the bar and you can hang out here. Like, we just don't vibe.
Dude, that sucks. Like when you're in a creative process of somebody where like you don't vibe,
Yeah.
it just eats dick. It's just like,
it's really uncomfortable. And like, I always took the approach of at stand up where I was like, I just want to have fun doing this.
Right.
Like I want to grow. I want it to be a career. I wanted it to be a career. Damn kids. But like, I did want it to like move on, but you'd run into these people that are just like, well, I don't want to move on with you. So I'll pass. Like I'll remove myself from this. We just don't get along. It's cool. But like, then once you get to that feature, and one of the reasons you want to hook up with a feature is because when they start headlining, they'll bring you along as like their feature act. And that's what happened to me. Vic Henley was, I wanted to work that weekend. I requested that weekend to go bananas. And I happened to just hit it off with his feature act, a guy by the name of Kenny Zimlinghouse. Kenny had a show on Sirius XM on Cosmo Radio at the time. He was really popular, but like wasn't well known at the club scene. And me and him hit it off. And like every year I requested that weekend because I knew Kenny would come back. And then once Kenny moved on to like doing his own thing, he brought me along with him.
nice.
And then similarly, now there was a vacancy when Vic came to town. So Vic was like, Mikey, you can open up for me at Bananas, feature for me at Bananas. Like, hell yeah. So now like I got in with both of these dudes doing that. So it's just like, I mean, it's like any other workplace where some people you're going to get along with, some people you're not. And you just kind of gravitate towards the people you do want to hang with.
Yeah, just from being a fan of it, it just seems like it has to be like such a weird dynamic because you're constantly interacting with people where it's like, I find this funny, and it's a very wide spectrum of what people find funny.
Yeah.
And then like trying to find other people where you're like, yo, I'm into that shit.
Yeah. I think that's where good clubs come into play, because a good club is not going to match up like headliners and hosts whose styles don't go well together. Like Bananas does a great job of being like, this host fits with this headliner. So it's a more cohesive show, and it almost lends itself to people getting along better.
Well, and again, that's where I compare it to music, where it's like, it's the kind of thing where it's like, you would think that the main act in the opening band would, be the same genre.
Right.
Where it's like, all right, this makes sense that they're opening for them, and it's like, all right, it's going to work together. It's going to fuse.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't do a thing where it's like, all right, we're going to have a mariachi band open up for somebody who's playing like post-hardcore. Like this doesn't make sense. Like, what are we doing here?
I'd buy that. I'd buy a ticket to that show. I think that's coming to Andrew Brady this summer.
I mean, I did talk to a dude last night, told me that like Mr. Bungle recently did a tour, but they opened for themselves as a mariachi band. I'm like,
That's
fuck.
amazing.
I'm like, I love Mr. Bungle, so I would watch Mr. Bungle as a mariachi band. Like, I mean, that's dumb Mr. Bungle. You can't beat it.
Amazing. What a brilliant idea.
Yeah. It's the same thing with like Tool, where it's just like, hey, let's just be weird. And it's like, all right, I get it.
Opening for yourself. Oh, that'd be amazing.
Just like you completely just like, that would be interesting as far as like comedians go.
Yeah.
Like if you were your feature act for yourself as the headliner,
Yeah.
where like you came out with like a fucking shitty mustache and you did like a whole like different set. That'd be fun.
There's a dude that I used to do it with, Mike Cronin. He's a super funny dude from Cincinnati. He had like an alter ego character, Hank Cunderham, who was just like an old style, like Poconos type comic that like just like working in the Catskills.
Nice.
So he totally could have had like Hank Cunderham host for Mike Cronin. Like that would have been fantastic.
What's traveling like as a comedian? Like, what's it like to do a thing where it's like, hey man, we're going to bring you into the city. You're going to work like Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. What's that like?
It depends. So I've done shows where like that type of thing happens where like, hey, come, we want you to feature because this headliner's not bringing a feature. So we got a weekend for you. Come hang out. It's lonely as shit. Like it really does suck. You spend most of the time in the hotel room, or you go to like the mall or like some shit.
I was gonna say, like, what's the hotel? Like, are you in a hotel, or is
Yeah,
it like, or is it like a thing with like we have like a comedy like
clubs will
apartment
have
thing?
a condo. That's always weird. I did that in Tennessee one time. I did one in Bloomington, Indiana too, and it was awkward as hell, man. The headliner was banging some girl, and I had like just locked myself in my room, and I was like, I don't want to be out in this. It's like in the common space, man. Like, could you have not done that here?
Yeah, could you not, fucking grip it and rip it on the goddamn couch? That'd be awesome.
I was like, and there's like people hanging out, like drinking beers, and I'm like, I'm gonna go lock myself in the room. I don't. Something's getting stolen tonight. But then there's other times where like, you're in your own hotel room and you're just chilling out watching. We always watch like Storage Wars and shit.
Solid. No, it just is a crazy thing to think about, like the whole thing with like the comedy clubs. There's like, hey man, we have like an apartment upstairs.
Yeah. I never liked the apartment upstairs. I always questioned how often it was cleaned, and I was never a fan of that. So whenever a club would do a hotel room, that was awesome. But most of my traveling, I traveled with my buddy Kenny, and he would set up like small little runs. So he didn't do club shows because he had this like Cosmo radio and had like his own following. He could work out just a deal with the venue where he was like, I'm going to do a show there one night only. You get the bar, I get the tickets. So he would do that and then bring me along to open up for him. And those were the most fun because it was just like hanging in a hotel with my buddy. Like we're just boozing it up, having a good time. So we would do like one city one night, drive a couple hours, do another city, drive a couple hours, do another city, and then head back. And those were like my favorite road trips. Man, something about like two comedians who really get along in a car for an extended period of time. If I could have recorded that stuff back then, it would have been amazing.
I was going to ask about that. Like, what is it like, just road warrioring out, like getting in the car with somebody and you guys are just going to work in clubs?
Yeah, it's as long as you vibe with the person, it's a really good time because that's where a lot of like my ideas would come from because it would just be from talking to each other. And we're always just trying to one up each other, like make the other one laugh. And then you'd hit on something and be like, I'm doing that tonight. Like, oh yeah, you should. And then it becomes a writing session where you're just like bouncing ideas off of each other until you've got a joke that you're like, this is ready to go to stage. Like I could do this tonight. This is perfect. So it was like a lot of really good time spent like working on jokes, working on the craft.
Is being a stand-up comic, is it akin to like being in a band where like you can hook up with fans? Like what's that like where there is like this level of celebrity and sometimes people are like, hey, I'd like to have some sex with you.
Yeah. So I met my wife and then started doing stand-up like shortly after we started dating. So I have never partaken in adventures on the road.
Solid answer.
But it definitely happens. Like there's a lot of times where you'll get approached after the show. I mean, like everybody else, girls love the funny guy. Like they love when you make them laugh. And like, yeah, that's true. Cause like there are a lot of times where you're hanging out at a bar afterwards and somebody was at the show and you got to remove yourself from the situation.
It is an interesting difference between men and women where like men are very much physically like, I'm attracted to you because I think you're hot physically. Whereas women are like way more like, oh, you control power in the room.
Right.
I find this hot.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's a very interesting thing because it's like, I'm definitely not a conventionally attractive guy, but I've also like never like had a problem like at some point being like, oh, okay, I can like relate to women and talk to them and stuff.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
It is a weird thing though in terms of like what your average or like what your league should be versus what it can be when like you're in a celebrity role.
Yeah. There's definitely something to be said about that. I will say, I don't know what it says about me. I tended to have like the dudes want to hang out with me after a show.
Bros.
Like they're just like, dude, you want a beer? I'll get you a beer. And I'm like, hell yeah, let's do
shots.
that.
We're doing shots. Let's do shots. What's interacting with like other comedians like in terms of, like the green room and stuff? Like, is it a thing where are you guys competing against each other? Are you on the same team? Like, are you friends? Like,
yeah, there's
like how does this work? Because I get the idea of like an open mic where it's like people are really coming up, but like once you go on that like pro level where it's like, hey man, like we're in the locker room together.
Yeah, for sure. That open mic style is more competitive. You're kind of like eyeing up the competition, it feels like, right? Like you're like judging how everybody else is doing. You're almost like doing some stacked rankings to see where you measure up against everybody else. But once you are doing like shows, generally, if you're on the road, like I said, you're with buddies, so it does become more supportive. Where like there's been several times where after a show, like we'll sit in the green room and just like, well, that joke died here. Why did it die here? Like, oh, try it this way tomorrow, or do it this way the next time. And it's like, oh, all right, yeah, we'll go down that path, and like just giving each other like constructive criticism. Whereas open mics is like, that joke ain't shit. See ya. That sucked. See you later. Better luck next time, I guess. So like the open mics definitely were more competitive and more cutthroat.
Is there ever like a point where like, you were kind of talking about it earlier, but like being the feature and the headliner and like getting along, is there ever like a weird spot where like you're in the green room and you're with somebody who like the things you find funny, they don't find funny. And now, now you're like, all right, we're here.
Yeah, it definitely happens. And I've found that a lot with those dudes that did like give up on life and hated everything. And I was like, I just can't vibe with these guys. So that's when I would be like, I'll hang out at the bar during this show. Like, I mean, I'll be over here. Like, I'll come get you when it's time for you to come on stage type thing. Like I didn't, it was, I mean, it sounds super hippie and weird to say, but like, I didn't want that energy like around me. Cause you're doing comedy. You're trying to like be fun and have fun. And when somebody's just sapping that from you, you're like, oh, I can't be upbeat when you're back here being a little bitch, like, so I'm just gonna go over here with like cool people.
What's it like when somebody drops something on stage where you're like, oh shit, you said that? Like has anybody like hit like a hard R in front of you or anything like that where it's like, holy shit, like what the fuck are we doing here?
Nobody's at a hard R, but there have been like a couple record scratch moments, and I like there were a few open mics where people would say something and it like gasps from the audience of like, I can't believe he said that. Those are amazing moments in a comedy club, because you can find the comedians as soon as it happens, because the people dying laughing are comedians. Like comedians love to see their friends eat shit. So when your friend says something that just like record screech brings it to a halt, nobody laughs, everybody's offended, they're offended. It's the funniest fucking thing to see. So every comedian just dies laughing at it. It's like, I feel like it's because everybody knows that feeling. Every comedian knows that feeling of like, oh, fuck, I just stepped in it. I'm never digging out of this hole. So you just laugh at whoever did it.
Nice. Yeah, that is definitely one of those things where it's always interesting to see that happen in real time. Where like somebody says something where it's like, oh shit, I didn't know that was going to come out. But here we are. Well, look, man, before we get out of here, was there anything that you want to say about stand-up comedy we can get to talk about tonight?
I miss it, man. It's funny because like I did stand up for 10 years. When my son was born, I decided to stop because I didn't want to be traveling. So it's been 8 years since I've been on stage. And for a long time, I stopped watching completely. Like I couldn't do it because I didn't want to get that bug. I didn't want to be like, I got to get back on stage. So I finally reached a point where I can watch it and appreciate it without the feeling of like, I'm jonesing. I got to get back on stage now. Like I got to go do a show. It's almost like I'm like a crack addict where like, I got that hit, man. I gotta go back out there. So I'm finally at peace with like, I can just appreciate this art form now. I don't have to like go after it and chase that dream.
Do you think once your kids are like in high school?
Yeah, probably.
All right. All right. There it is. Mike, dude, thank you so much for coming out and doing the show, man. I totally appreciate you. I totally appreciate you making this happen.
Hell yeah, man. Thanks for having me. This is a great time.
Can you hit your plugs real quick before we get out of here?
Absolutely. You can find at Craft B Sports on Twitter, Instagram. We're on TikTok as long as it's not banned. You can sub to the YouTube though. We're growing that YouTube channel. Scott's doing an awesome show with Chris Asbrock, Backyard. God damn it,
Backwards K
baseball. I'm thinking of Pablo Sanchez. Backwards K Baseball. They do that Monday nights. Craft B Sports on Tuesday. We got plans for expansion and doing more stuff too. So go sub to the YouTube because that's where everything's going to be.
Nice. Yeah, listener, definitely check out Craft Root Sports. It fucking rocks. One of my favorite podcasts, YouTube shows, whatever you want to call it, of all time. And thank you for listening to What You Into. If you are into stand-up comedy, please share the podcast with somebody else. Just text them. Algorithms suck. They all suck. Everything is fucked up. And hey, if you like the podcast, there's more episodes, over 160 episodes. Everything is evergreen. You can jump in wherever. You don't have to start at the beginning. Please don't start at the beginning, because I was really bad as a podcaster at the beginning of the show. Mike, dude, thank you so much for showing up and doing the show, man. And listener, peace.